Does it feel like your private practice is running you? Did you start back in private practice this year with really good intentions, but already it feels like you're slipping back into old habits? Maybe you made yourself that little promise that this year you wouldn't kill yourself with work and you'd get your admin act together so you could finally be super organised and make more money. And yet here we are now, and already your sparkly new 2025 is feeling much like the old 2024. Do you feel stuck, unsure of how to identify what is holding back your private practice from success or even getting it off the ground in the first place? If so, you're not alone, and many clinicians feel like this. I can certainly remember overworking and not having time to work on my business as well as in my business. And it's human nature to resist making change because change feels uncomfortable or we perceive it's going to be difficult. So we kind of just skirt around it. And to top it all, as clinicians, we're people pleasers, which means we often don't like having those uncomfortable conversations. Although it may seem the easy option, the problem with not taking action is it comes with a cost. And you may not even be realizing how much that's costing you in terms of time, money, and effort. So what are you avoiding? Maybe you're unhappy or even resentful about how a team member is performing, but you don't want to talk about it because you're worried about rocking the boat in case they leave. For years, you've been getting round to ditching that outdated practice management software system, but the thought of it just fills you with dread, so you don't do it. Maybe you've outgrown your staff. Perhaps the demands of your successful private practice are outstripping what your medset can do for you, but she's been with you from the beginning, you can't possibly let her go. Or maybe you know you should be marketing a practice, but at the end of a hectic day, frankly, you go home, you clean up after the kids, and you just want to collapse onto the sofa and watch Black Doves. Or are you avoiding raising your prices because frankly, it makes you feel guilty or greedy or physically cringy? Often the barriers to growth are as much emotional as they are logistical. Perhaps your staff members don't want to talk to you about the fact that they don't want to do the thing or they can't do the thing because they don't want to upset you. Sometimes we have to let go of outdated mindsets or ways of doing things. If that member of staff isn't helping you to get where you need to be, you need to think you can't take everybody with you. What got you here won't get you there. And often you'll not make progress because you're just not focusing on the right things. If you're not focusing on growth, nothing's going to grow in your practice. So even if it means you have to step outside of your comfort zone, you should be making a practice that works for you rather than shaping yourself into one that doesn't. Here's the thing. Ultimately, it's your business and your responsibility. Change is difficult, especially when we've got ingrained habits, but making small, consistent steps each day will pay dividends in the long run. So let's not avoid those uncomfortable conversations. Arrange to have a talk with your team member. Do it soon. Don't leave the problem to fester, and frame it so that you want them to understand that you want them to grow. In other words, I know you're capable of this. This is the thing that's wrong. Here's what you need to do to put it right. When it comes to those outdated software systems, it's just time to change. The more you wait, the worse it's going to get. Most practice management software companies want to help you with the transition, so rip off the band-aid. It's not going to be nearly as bad as you think it is. Sometimes you just need to make the decision that it's time to add to your staff or move on from your staff. Remember that some of the things you're asking them to do could be better done by an external company, especially when it comes to billing. So free up your secretary's time and get external help. And if you're resisting changing to a different company because you're worried about a new secretary and new software, don't be. You've changed hospitals several times during your career and you figured it out, you'll be fine. If you're feeling squeamish about raising your prices, remember that all you need to do is communicate the value that you bring to your patients. Every business needs to raise their prices each year and people expect it. So stop apologising and stop explaining and just do it. And when you're running your own private practice, there's often the temptation to let yourself off the hook because no one's around to see that you didn't do the thing you said you were going to do. So if you want to be successful in 2025, isn't it time to get a private practice coach?